Okay, so we're live. Okay, Marion, you went away from me for a minute, so I'm sure you'll be back here.
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
Anthony Williams. All right. Now, what I want to
Okay. Marion, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
I'm giving Anthony a little list of questions that I know you guys would be anxious to hear about. And of course, all the noise you can hear in the background is, of course, Anthony's at the iPAS office. Okay. So, Anthony, with that, welcome to our call. So happy to have you here. Go ahead, Anthony. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Marion. It's good to be on with you. I'll let the guys here know that we're on a live webinar, so we don't want you guys to catch earshot of anything that you don't need to hear. But very quick, guys, insight to my background is that for those of you that do know me, I'm a retired Marine. I've also had the fortunate opportunity of rising to the top of a couple of network marketing companies. I've been in sales and marketing for well over 30 years. I've managed several auto dealerships to include Ford, Mercedes, and BMW. I've been friends with Chris Jones for many years, and he and I were in a network marketing company together. And then he aspired into this internet marketing realm, and I continued to work with him, and he had created systems, and I had an opportunity to take my sales expertise and help assist him. So I was part of the first iPAS system, and now we are here today with you with the evolution of that, iPAS 2. So for those of you out here for the very first time, it's truly a pleasure to have the opportunity to meet you. Look forward to seeing you guys live and in person in a venue somewhere around the world. But Marion, first of all, I want to say thank you for being one of our iPAS 2 coaches, and thank you for allowing me to come on and speak with your guest today.
Oh, Anthony, it's such a pleasure, absolute pleasure. Here's the thing, Anthony, right? We've worked together now for what, like about 6-7 months maybe,
Yes.
training, while we've been waiting for iPAS to launch, etc. We got to know each other well. Okay, all of us coaches, we're kind of a very close-knit family of coaches now. Mm-hmm. Can you, obviously, I don't know, people know about me and people know about some of the other coaches, but mm-hmm. we are particularly interested in you, right, for now. So tell us a little bit about, your family, yourself, okay. Let us get to know you. And what made you tick?
Well, I thank you. Very well. It's always a flattering thing when someone asks you to tell you your story. And like many of you here in the audience today, I come from some humble beginnings, and I've done some things. I just celebrated my 55th birthday, so I'm growing up a little bit, and I'm very proud of that. Because I'm a baby boomer. For those of you out there that may be baby boomers, congratulations for being here and being a part of this fantastic business and this fantastic opportunity. And for those of you that may be young people out there looking at this as well. Couldn't be a better thing for you to be a part of, because you're starting your lives and you're starting your careers as business people, and what a perfect model for you to glean from. But my background is I grew up Memphis, Tennessee, and my family migrated up to Minnesota, and this is where I grew up in Minneapolis. I live up in the Minneapolis Twin Cities area, and then as soon as I turned of age, I joined the military, spent the majority of my adult life in the military. Was married 17 years. I was married, and unfortunately, tragedy struck, and my wife of 17 years passed away suddenly and left us with 3 kids. I had 3 kids. They were 10, 2, and 1 when she passed away. And for those of you could imagine, that's a a very traumatic experience that anyone could go through. And yet my belief and my faith was unstoppable. There was just nothing that was going to stop me. I knew that my responsibility now was to lead my children, to give them the example that my wife would want me to carry on, and her spirit continued to live and dwell within me as I continued my mission towards success. So day in, day out, I continued to show my kids that there's nothing that you can't do as long as you continue to keep your faith in whatever that is that you have faith in, whatever it is that your spirit, that fills your spirit, whatever that is, you have to embrace that. You have to fall upon that. And then you have to give life everything that you have. You know, my good friend Les Brown says, if you're going to fall on your back, you want to fall. If you're going to fall, you need to fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And I have subscribed to that formula, and that's exactly what I've done, Marion. And this business, or being involved in network distribution, it kind of fulfills my personal subscription to life. Is that Zig Ziglar said it best: if you help enough people get what they want, you can have everything that you want. So I have taken on my mission in life to be a servant. So how can I serve you? How can I help you become successful? My talents and my skill lies in my ability to communicate. So I take my ability to communicate, my marketing, my sales training, my parenting, my being a drill instructor in the Marine Corps, my being a combat leader, my being the eldest son of my family. It took those life experiences to mold me to become who I am, and for me to give that gift back to those that get a chance to be a part of my story, like you. So that's my story, Marion.
Thank you, Anthony. You know, for anybody listening, first of all, I want to thank you for sharing such personal details. I cannot even begin to imagine, Anthony, what you must have gone through, how you must have coped, etc. But the beauty of it is that through it all, well, basically, it's made you the person you are today. You know, you were fantastic to begin with in the strong way, and all of your life, all of our lives, it just equips us to deal with what comes our way, and with it comes the wisdom and the stature and the everything else. And the one thing I want to say that you taught me, right? Number one is, well, obviously I've always been a really positive person, which is why I just felt, you know, the minute we spoke, I kind of realized, gosh, I want to work with this person because he thinks exactly along the lines. And Anthony, you know, right, I didn't give up, did I? I kind of counting you till you gave me the interview, and then we went from there. It's simply because I had this conviction. I knew that, you know, this is where I should be, and that kind of thing.
Yes.
But, you know, the massive thing about it all is that we have gelled so well as a whole team. And if there's one thing that you have taught me, which as a woman has stood me in immense stead, because I'm a woman, Anthony, what can you expect, right? Maybe there are women listening, not like this, and you had no idea what I'm going to say, do you? But the one thing you said to me that really, really stuck, right, is do not act out of reaction, right? To me, you know, because I'm such a bubbly kind of interactive person, sometimes, you know, you know what I'm going to say. Sometimes I kind of get involved or get my emotions entangled in things that really had nothing to do with me. And you just said this one day, and I don't even remember what context it was in. And you mentioned that, you know, in your Marine training, you'll have to learn a certain set qualities, etc. And one of them was not to act out of reaction, right? Could you expand on that a little bit more, Anthony?
Well, again, oftentimes when something happens to you or something happens around you, it is the human condition or the human reaction to give a quick response or reaction to something. One of the things that I have learned to develop throughout my years is to sit back and be patient and watch this happen before me. So I'm focusing, I'm watching something happen before me. Well, let me give you, for instance. In the military, you have two types of commands. One is called an order, and the other one is called a command of execution, okay? So an order is if I tell you to do something and you don't have a specific time to do it. If I give you a command of execution, you have to do it right this second, because if you don't, it could kill you. So there's the two distinctions between that. And you guys know what I'm speaking of, because there's something I need to get to, but there's something I have to do right now. And oftentimes when we find ourselves in a situation, some people respond like that instead of pausing for a moment and assessing what the situation is and giving it some thought, because that's more of an order. It's not a command of execution, because you don't have to do it that second. Now, life requires that if something happens instantaneously, you have to respond at that moment, then the human condition will react to that. But don't make that your norm. You know, don't be emotionally attached to a particular situation or something. In this position that I'm at, I'm constantly having things come my way that most people would respond emotionally, quickly, but you can't. You have to sit back for a moment and you have to think about it. You have to digest it and sometimes even seek counsel before you make a decision. I think if more people did that, even with their personal relationships, you would fare much better than emotionally responding to some things. You know, not trying to get philosophical on you or preach to you guys, but I'm not trying to proselytize. I just simply want to state that in business, you have to think about things, process these thoughts, process these feelings, process these emotions. If you're a visual person, you see things in your head like a big movie screen. If you're an analytical person, you're going to analyze these things. You're going to look at the pros and cons of it. How does this sound to me? If you're an emotional person, you process these things with your feelings, your emotion. How do I feel about that? So we all process things differently, but I think that what we were sharing is just simply pause for a moment, breathe, and that's going to help you make much better decisions. That's just my opinion.
You know, that was amazing, Anthony, because as I say, you know, we all listen to you because we know you're very, like you say, you know, your life experiences have made you a really wise, solid person in that respect. But that one thing really, really impacted me, and it has kind of changed the way I react going forward. So it's just one of those things, you know, you're never too old to learn. And it doesn't matter when from, as long as it's wisdom. Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much.
You can learn from a child.
Now,
if you ever watch it, you have grandchildren. And I know for a fact that you sit and watch that little baby, and sometimes you look in just awe and amazement and what they do and how they process information and how they behave and how they act. God, it's unbelievable how much people have advanced, how much children have advanced, you know? It's just incredible. So yeah, you never stop learning, never.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I spent this weekend with our two granddaughters, and the little one, you know, she's not even a year as yet. But she's looking into the mobile camera, fascinated by her own image there, smiling at it, and you think, oh my word, you know. So yeah, technology has advanced, and so has the marketplace and everything else. Anthony, talking about technology and all of that, right?
Sure.
I can see that you're sat at headquarters.
Yes.
Okay. Tell the guys to close their ears and tell us a little bit about what it is like to work in such close quarters with Chris Mark.
Well, that's a great question. What's it like to work with Chris Jones and Mark Dale and Adam Whiting and all the
Yes.
guys of the iPAS team? It's an incredible journey. You know what? Here's how I equate it personally. And now Chris is in the other room, and I'm going to blow his head up a little bit. But I just want to tell you that here's how I feel about it. Imagine for a moment that Steve Jobs or Bill Gates invited you into their garage and say, hey, I got this great idea. We're going to be one of the biggest companies in the world. Now, you may not see it yet because I'm in my garage, but I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the biggest things in the world. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm fortunate. I'm so blessed. I'm so privileged. I'm so honored. I can't tell you, and I don't mean this with no exaggeration. I'll say that with him in the next room here. I'm glad I was in that garage because of the fact that I have an opportunity to watch a young man. I mean, he's really young enough to be my son, And I watch Chris that I have such respect for him and what he's doing. His heart is so big. For those of you that do not know this young man, watch my body language as I tell you this. This kid's heart is huge. This man is phenomenal as it relates to what he wants to do for you, because he understands that he has a servant's heart. He wants to see people be successful. He's gotten success. He's made millions of dollars, but he wants to see not just about what he can do, how can I help other people? And that's what iPAS is. So what is it like for me to be here? It's incredible. I mean, it's an incredible thing just to be here in the midst of all this and watch the operations go day to day, to see how we deal with our challenges, how we deal with the things that are great, how we celebrate. Because when you guys win, we win. And we can't win without you. I want to share this with your audience. For those of you out there, I have a story that I often talk about. If you guys want to equate, what is it like to be a part of this team? So in the military, we had a thing that we did. It was an exercise called a vertical climb. Now, what a vertical climb entailed is that we had a cliff face that we had to negotiate. That means it's just like a rock cliff that goes up about 100 yards, 100 feet, I'm sorry. So now we would take all of our equipment and we'd have our weapons, and we'd have to negotiate this cliff. So we had to go straight up. So how do you overcome that obstacle? Well, here's what we do. We take our strongest climber. This is the person that has the most endurance, and he is a guy that can go up this face. If you ever seen anybody do the rock climbing wall, that's what this guy is doing. But he has strapped on his back a rope, and he's going up this vertical cliff face freestyle. Nothing underneath it. It's just he's going up freestyle because he's our strongest climber. Now he gets up to the top of that hill, and then he takes that rope and he anchors that rope down. Now remember, I told you, it's not just any kind of rope, it's a knotted rope. And then he throws that rope down, and that allows the rest of the team to come up that rope with ease because it's knotted. This is what iPAS is for you. This is what Chris and the team has built for you. We've built you a knotted rope to help you finally find the success that you've been wanting to achieve in your life. And the opportunity has made it an even playing field, whereas it does not matter if you have a magnetic personality. It does not matter if you're an articulate salesperson. It doesn't matter if you got millions of friends. It doesn't matter, because we've created what we call a digital franchise style system. This is a system that gives you an opportunity to have a fair playing field. And this is why I'm so excited to be here in the iPAS office right now and talking to you. So those of you out there listening that are in earshot or can see this presentation, this is your chance to finally have the success that you deserve to have. Now remember, there's no guarantees, and we're not guaranteeing you or implying under any circumstances that you're going to have success, because frankly, we don't know you. I don't know what your level of commitment is. I don't know whether or not you'll even finish this whole video. But here's what we do know. We have a system that if you're obedient to the system and you follow the system, you have the potential to have success if you follow the system and allow the system to work for you and being obedient to the system. And so that's what we have, and that's why I'm excited to be here with Chris Jones at the iPAS headquarters with him and Mark Dale and the rest of the team.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. Yeah, that's absolutely amazing, and I can well imagine actually. Now, I want to actually pick up on that. You know, talking about the system and the you know, Steve Jobs garage kind of thing. I want to say that the kind of caliber of people we're seeing coming through the doors, people who are seeing iPAS and getting very excited about it and wanting to join, you know how surprised I always am. And you know, I'm constantly kind of saying in the coaches chat room, oh my goodness, you know, just look at this. And it's not just me, we're all reporting the same kind of thing where, I mean, the latest one, Anthony, you know, a millionaire, you know, who's absolutely in love with the system and has gone straight all in. He's up and going. He's done a million other things. You know, he's a Fortune 500 company. iPAS, he completely gets it. And to me, it's quite breathtaking to be involved at this stage, because I truly, yeah.
Again, and for Marion, I feel your excitement that what you're seeing right now is you're seeing a phenomenon, because yes, we're attracting, you know, millionaires.
Yes.
I mean, people that have done significantly well in life are being attracted to this system. We're seeing moms, stay-at-home moms, being excited about this system. We're seeing people that have been struggling, excited about this system. And the promise of something that makes it fair for them is exciting, the hope. And everybody's looking for something to be hopeful for. Everybody's looking for an opportunity to expand their life. You know, everybody wants a better way. It's not, and let me say this, this is important. It's not just all about the money. The money's okay, and the money's great. Everybody wants to make a better lifestyle, but you want to be a part of something bigger. You want to be a part of something better. That's why I joined the Marines. I mean, I wanted to be the Marines because I wanted to, in my mind, be the best. And everybody wants to be part of the best team. Everybody wants to be a part of the best choir, the best whatever. You want to be the best at what it is that you do. And so here, after going from business to business, from you know, what do you say? Here's this saying: how do you how is a person judged based off of their level of commitment? How do you truly judge commitment? Well, here's my definition: going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. You know,
yes.
And I have went from failure to failure, yet my enthusiasm is still here. I still feel strong about success. I still feel strong about the opportunity. I still feel strong that there's nothing I can't do, but I just have to continue to believe. I have to continue to search. Don't search for the opportunity. The opportunity will come to you when you're prepared for it. And now all of a sudden you find this iPAS thing is manifested. People are coming to us, and we're hearing testimonials. I'm talking to people in tears, sharing with me how excited they are because for the first time ever in business, they're actually making some money. Even if it's that small win from that person coming through as a trial member, you know, getting that first $47 sale. Do you realize that people are excited about that because they can see it happening right before their very eyes, how the iPAS system is making a difference for them? Yeah?
Exactly. No, Anthony, you don't. You know, you make me so excited by it all, because you're talking about people, you know, in tears. I told you all that about the other day, isn't it? The lady, I can't remember her name now, and even if I did, I wouldn't repeat it. But she asked for a call. When I called her, the minute I introduced myself, she burst into tears, and I was shocked. You know, it was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And it was just that she'd been through a system. I could hear Chris in the background, actually, in one of the videos. And she
Yes.
said to me, Marion, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. And now you've called to have that kind of contact with somebody. This is it. This is what's going to change my life. And of course, me being, I had to cry with her. So we both have cried for about 2 minutes, and then, you know, we kind of
Yeah.
carried on with the call. But you're right. That's the kind of life-changing impact it is having on people, you know. So absolutely amazing.
I want to make
Anthony,
a
listen,
point. I want to.
knowing, you know, with your passion for the job and yeah, go ahead.
No, I said I wanted to make a point that's important, especially if you're a new person looking at this for the first time, or if you're a seasoned person been in for a while. I want to make sure you're clear on what the expect. Still broadcasting, and you guys can still hear me. Okay, there you are,
Yes.
Mark.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to know is that the coach's job is to get you to a point to where as you understand how this system works and the system is explaining to you step by step what you need to do to go to success. Don't get a portion of the system. Get the whole system that you need. Get everything that you need. Get every component. Become a black card carrying member. And then you want to turn on the coaching, because that allows us to do what it is that we do best. We'll validate and solidify the system to your new member, and we'll answer their questions, and then we want them to do the same thing. That creates a duplicatable system. So it didn't require your effort. It didn't require your magnetic personality. It let us do what we do. And that is a digital franchise style system. Let it do what it do. But if you only get a portion of it because your financial constraints, you know, because a lot of times we'll speak to people, this requires money. It requires you to be able to get the system. You can't go out and buy any type of business with no input with it, with your own resources. So yes, it costs money. This is not free. This is not a get rich quick. This is not one of those schemes. This is not one of those things. This is a legitimate business that we have a beautiful system that sorts. It sorts people to whereas if they're not willing to do what's necessary for their own success, the system kind of weeds them out politely. Is that a good way to say it? It weeds them out politely.
Yeah, I agree with you, Anthony. I do agree, and you know that goes back to the caliber of people we're seeing coming through. You know, the other got a gentleman who said, "I don't like the system. You have to work." So, no, that's absolutely fine with me. And you know, because there are some people can be quite unrealistic simply because of the way some marketers present the whole thing. But when they come into the system and they realize, oh my goodness, this is something real. It really does, you know, weed out, like you're saying, the wrong ones, and you've got an immense amount of quality people coming through. It's amazing.
Sure.
Anthony, let me ask you, right, now, obviously you're so passionate about iPAS and you know, the people behind it, etc., and also the people that iPAS is going to serve. To me, one of the key elements of this whole thing are the coaches, right?
Yes.
So that put a massive responsibility on you, on your shoulders, to select the right people.
Sure.
Right? Tell me, what was your thought process in that, and you know, what kind of criteria did you look for? Because we are such a varied bunch, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Here, hold on a second.
We absolutely
That's
love
a
each
very
other.
good question.
So
That's a very good question, Marion, that you would ask me, you know, like on what criteria that I look at, you know. Again, there's all kind of formulas that one could consider, but there's a system called DISC. It kind of basically look at this person's, are they a dominant, are they enthusiastic, are they compliant, and their steadiness. I mean, there's acronyms basically kind of look at the person that I'm dealing with, and are they meeting certain levels of criteria that's an aggressive person. Each of these people that I bring on the team are professionals, and if they could do their own business if they wanted to. Each of the people that come on have thick skin. They have to have thick skin because we're dealing with a lot of personalities. Each of the people that come on, I want to ensure that they have the ability to be pleasant. We want them to be kind of customer service, sales, coaching. I want them to have some background in the areas of training, teaching, customer support, you know, all of those combinations of all things, right? But the biggest thing, the biggest asset is the ability to them for the listen. If they can listen to a person and identify what that person's needs are, and then they can then share with them how this opportunity can then satisfy that or help them achieve that goal. Those are the things that are important. And some of it's just a gut feeling of how I feel about their person. There's some people that just kind of reach, and I do a video conference with everybody that's on the team. If they don't have the ability to do a video conference with me, then that weeds them out. They're not proficient technologically to be able to do this, so they have to be able to communicate with me. And so we'll do a video conference like we're doing. It's a one-on-one Skype or FaceTime or whatever it is that we can do to connect. And we'll sit down and we'll get face-to-face. They'll get to see me, I'll get to see them, and we do that interview because we work in a virtual environment. I have people all over the country and also overseas. Maryland's over across the pond. But all in all, to be an iPAS coach, a person really has to be willing to give of themselves. These guys worked 6 months, and just 6 months with nothing. They just showed up. They said, we believe in the dream, we believe in the vision. You build it, they're going to show up, and they believe. They bought into that. They bought into me, and I thank them every day for believing in what I share with them. That was my first sales job, is that I had to sell them that this was going to be everything that I said it would be, and I'm so thankful for them because they believed in me and they stuck with it. They believed in Chris, they believed in Adam and all the team that put this system together. So, you know, and here we're creating magic. We're creating something that people can really be proud to be a part of.
Absolutely, Anthony. I tell you, you know, it's just a credit to you and Chris and the system and everything else that not one of us during that 6-month period of turning up for trainings 3 times a week, you know, on our own time, etc. Not one of us left. We're all still here. We're loving every minute of it.
We didn't lose anybody. That's great. So that was a beautiful thing to see that everybody stuck it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony, one more question, and then you know, I'm turning it over to you after that because I know you're just such an inspirational person. One of the questions, you know, a little bit of a kind of reservation or a little bit that people like myself and other coaches, we're all part of the business. We all work the business. You're the users of the system, and people are a little not me, you know, but I have heard this concern be voiced. Are we able to misuse or abuse the system and end up sort of taking those people for ourselves? We're just siphoning them off for ourselves. And I've told them for a fact that it's not possible. But you, as a manager, can you explain, you know, some of the kind of the safeguards that our are in place where you chop our legs off, basically, if that happens, you know?
Well,
I'll hand over to
Mary,
you and
that's
then
a
you
good
can
question. I
explain
mean,
that.
it's important that everyone out here knows that when they put their people, your prospects, your members, your team members in our hands, we take that very seriously. We don't take that lightly at all, and we understand the magnitude of what it is that we're taking on, because that's your livelihood. I mean, these are your leads that you paid for, and when that person comes through, it's imperative that the coaches have to be on reproach. You know, they have to be of a high integrity. So that was obviously one of the criteria, that I have to ensure that these are people that I can trust. And yet also, with respect to that, we're all professional marketers. And my coaches, they have other businesses. They do other things. You know, I mean, this is not their one-stop shop in life. This is something that they do, and they're good at it. But however, I don't tie them up. But we want to also be cognizant of the fact that when we're dealing with your people, we don't confuse church and state, you know, so to speak. We know how to separate that, and we do that, and we ensure that we don't compromise our position with your people. We're not offering them our deal. We're not sharing with them different things. When they ask questions about where they get traffic from or where do they get this from, we don't give that advice as coaches. That's not something that we share with them. We refer them to use the system, the information that they're getting from the iPAS leadership, and the information that they collaborate with their sponsor. Okay, so there are other methods of that information getting to you. So those of you watching, that's not what we do as coaches. Our job is not to give you advice as far as the traffic is concerned. Our primary mission, again, is to get your new people through the system efficiently, to answer their questions and communicate, and give them a follow-up on what the system has already showed them, what the system has already put before them. But sometimes we get lazy and we just don't continue to do the things that are already in front of us because we want a quick fix. And that's one of the greatest things about the iPAS system and the coaches and what they do. They keep your new person on track. Now, if any of you out there that are seasoned members and you've went through it and you just click, 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 click to get to the end, well, yeah, you could have done that, but that shortcut, or you doing that is fast, but you're doing yourself a disservice because you're not truly understanding the magnitude of what you have in your hands. You're really not understanding how powerful this system is. And if you get a clear understanding of that, that's going to overwhelm you in your participation in this business and your support and your advertising this portal for your new people, because then you'll understand truly what you have in your hands.
Yeah, I agree with you, Anthony. Obviously, you know, when we set up, as coaches, we had already seen the videos and everything else. And that day when we set up, it was like minutes ahead of it going public. So we were setting up sort of minutes before we were getting ready to take calls.
Literally minutes before we started.
Literally, you know, I'd like you to explain to Chris Jones that hair, I had a lot more before, you know, before that experience.
Chris, Marion told me to make sure I tell you that she had a whole head of hair before that 5-minute warning. That's good. So you said, yes, let me say this. Congratulations to you guys. You did respond very well. I can recall that when the day of launch, you was like one of those events. Do you remember where you were when this happened? Well, I do. I was on my way into the iPAS office. Chris called me and he said, hey, where are you at? I says, I'm on my way to the office. Well, we're going to launch in 15 minutes. I'm like, no, man, 15 minutes. So I was making a break to get here, you know. And so then he helped me relax once I got here. But yeah, it was some moment, the moment that iPAS really launched. So for those of you here that were here for the launch, congratulations. If you want to log that down as one of those time capsule moments that you can say, I was there when it launched. And if those of you are here for the first time, you may also want to log and note that I joined iPAS at this point because In my humble opinion, I firmly believe this is going to be one of those companies you can say, I was there in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. I do absolutely. Anthony, I remember Google coming out, right? And I remember looking at the name Google and thinking, what a crazy name, you know.
Yeah, who's going to go to a
How is it
Google?
going to, exactly. I remember it so clearly, and I have an absolute conviction that iPass is going to fall into that same category. We're down the road, like you're saying, you know, we are going to look back and think, oh my goodness, we were there at the beginning, and that's
Yeah.
absolutely massive.
And with the
Anthony,
support of
thank you for your
yourself
time. I
and your
really do
members,
appreciate it.
I was going to say, and with the support of yourself and all of your members out here watching today, iPass will become that household name. But it's going to take an understanding.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when you look at internet opportunities, there's two ways to have the biggest house in town. Either you build it or you try to tear someone else's down. And believe me, there are people out there that will, I mean, because on the internet, I mean, there's always guys out there trying to promote their deal. And the only way that their deal can have presence is they try to tear yours down. So if those of you out there looking, I challenge you to be the police. Don't judge us and based off of something that someone said about us. This is the real deal, and you're watching, you're talking to me. We're doing everything we can to be in totally 100% compliant. We want to make sure that we're legal, we're above board, that people never have to worry about iPAS and what it is that we represent. We don't want to misrepresent anything. We're not telling any of you out there that this is a get-rich-quick thing. We're not telling any of you out there that we're guaranteeing your success. Matter of fact, we're telling you honestly, 100%, we can't do that. We have income disclaimers over everything that we do to share with you exactly what the income claims are that we make. And so we don't make any claims here. So if you're watching this and if you got your arms crossed, yeah, what is this all about? If that's you, relax. Open your arms up, open your heart up, open your mindset up. This is a beautiful opportunity. This is maybe for the first time in your life, you could be in the right place at the right time and be a part of something that can make a significant difference for not only you, but for your family. Build a financial wall around your family that nothing can penetrate if you believe. But first of all, it's not about belief in us, it's the belief in yourself. If you believe in yourself and you're willing to walk out on faith, this could be that opportunity that you've been looking for. So, Marion, thank you for letting me talk with you tonight.
Oh, you are so welcome. Anthony, can I just pick your brain very quickly, and then I'll let you close, really. The Orlando event.
Yes.
Do we have any information about that yet in terms of dates? Is it going to fall within the Empower Network event or either end of it?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
do we know anything about that at all?
Unfortunately, I don't have any information on that,
Okay.
Marion. I could not tell you what's going on with the Orlando event. I don't have that. That's not something I have to pursue right now.
I know there's lots of people asking about that because we don't want to miss that.
And I'm going to have to close out
that's
because
fine.
my
just wait
partner
to find
needs to
out.
make some phone calls, and I'm interrupted.
Yes.
So I need to go.
Okay. Go ahead, Anthony. Yes, absolutely.
So what I want to do is I'll
close
out with this. This is something that I close out in all of my presentations. For those of you watching, hopefully you can glean this as it's been something significant for me in my life. I got it from my good friend Les Brown, the motivator, many years ago, and I vowed that I would recite it, so I'll share this with you. If you want a thing bad enough, go out and fight for it. Work day and night for it. Give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. If everything that you dream and you scheme is about it, and life seems all empty and useless without it, if you would simply go after that thing that you want with all your capacity, faith, hope, confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold, poverty, famish, nor gaunt, nor sickness of pain of body and brain can take you away from that thing that you want, and if dogged and grim you beseech and beset it, and with the help of God, you'll surely get it. Marion, thank you so much for allowing me to speak to your people today. And for all of you out there watching this, we look forward to seeing you have the success that you truly deserve. So with that being said, God bless you. Keep you well.
Thank you, Anthony. You take care.
All right. Bye-bye, Marion.
Bye now. Okay, everyone, if you're still here, so now you see why I so much love working with the group that we're working with, right? It's absolutely brilliant, makes so much sense. And truthfully, as Renita, I'll come back to that question in a second. As you know, Anthony says, this is going to become a household name. And it's going to impact, well, it is already impacting people's lives in a tremendous way. So I'm just so grateful for that. I know Andrew, isn't he absolutely amazing? Now, let me see, my coach is a person that says she's not a coach, but a good coach for my people. Okay, Renita, first of all, you know, congratulations on your 4 new people, absolutely brilliant. Now, if you're saying your coach is showing as a person who's actually not, that person is probably your sponsor, Renita. You know, so it's really, there are 1 or 2 glitches in the system that are going on. And so I would suggest you contact support about that. Okay, and that is iPAS, support@ipas.com, right? But to get a coach for your people, you need to be a Black Card member and have paid for coaching. Okay, there's more about that in the setup wizard, and it's step 7 or 6, if I'm not mistaken. But it talks about coaches and setting all that up. Okay, so do send in a support ticket, and we'll see, you know, how to get your situations out there. All right. Now, can I just say, you know, I'm fairly sure that it is mainly members on here. I just want you all to know you're in an absolutely brilliant place. Okay, if there's anybody here who hasn't joined iPAS as yet, I honestly urge you to get off that fence and join it, right? Now, if your sponsor has sent you a link, it would contain their ID in it, and you can actually quite happily click on that get started today and take the trial. You know, it can't get any fairer than that. There's a $7 trial which gives you time to look at the system, to go through all the videos and decide whether you want to be part of it or not. This is one system where nobody talks anybody into joining, because if you don't see it for yourself, then you're obviously, you know, this is not the business for you in that case. You're obviously not meant to be here, right? Which is why, with that utter confidence, the system is there for you to look at. So go ahead and do that. Click on that button, do that, and you will be directly plugged into the system, where it's step by step by step by step, where you go through the entire thing very quickly. It's actually explained to you thoroughly. Unlike other businesses where it's kind of sweet words and just kind of join and you're going to be a millionaire overnight, etc. Here, Chris and Mark take the time to explain everything thoroughly. To me, that was a real breath of fresh air, because I want an educated, dedicated, committed member to join my team. Somebody who is business-minded, like myself, like the rest of our team, the rest of this business. So you have that common ground to work on. Okay, so if you're new here today, either go back and talk with your sponsor. They would be the person who has sent you the link to this video, to this hangout, or if you've heard enough and you're ready to go off and take the trial, right? Simple as that. Try it out for yourself. Look and see why we're all so excited about it. Click on that button there. It says get started today, and get started, right? You can have a quick look and take it from there, right? With that, let me just have a quick look if there are any more questions here. No more questions. Thank you, everybody, for spending this time with us. Really appreciate you, and I hope you got some, well, some quality out of it. I know you did, in fact. You know, and this link, you can actually advertise it till our next week's webinar. So please go ahead and do that. Okay. Again, from my team and myself, thank you for spending your time with us. We've been ever so pleased to have you here, and thank you to Anthony too for making this a great session. With that, good night to everybody. God bless you, and talk to you soon. Bye now.